In the top stories, military salute held for Prime Minister Drew in Taiwan. Ambassador Danya Francis presents credentials to Taiwan President, and Edgar T. Morris and Estridge Primary Schools to merge. The details on these stories and more after the break.
Black Friday deals start now, only at Courts Optical. Save up to 80% off your purchase. Get the latest in eyewear fashion with frames starting at just $99. Payment plans available from 3 to 24 months. Schedule your appointment online today on www.courtsoptical.com. It's easy and convenient. Black Friday sale starts now with up to 80% off frames as low as $99. Only at Courts Optical. Value you can see.
Mosoka, 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 mosoka.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. Activities for the official visit of St. Kitts and Nevis delegation in Taiwan continued on Tuesday with a military salute and parade. More in this report.
Against the backdrop of cannon fire and fanfare, the Republic of China Taiwan welcomed Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew and his delegation on their official visit. The military salute was held on the square in front of the presidential office, which is the standard protocol for every head of government when he or she visits Taiwan for the first time. Speaking with the assistance of a translator, President of the Republic of China Taiwan, Tsai Ing-wen, welcomed Dr. Drew and his delegation and spoke of the strong ties between the Federation and Taiwan.
St. Christopher and Nevis is an important ally of Taiwan in the Caribbean region. This is Prime Minister Drew's first visit to a diplomatic ally since he took office 3 months ago. This shows how highly he regards the bond between our two nations. Since establishing diplomatic relations 39 years ago, our countries have supported each other through good times and difficult times, and we continue to strengthen collaboration in all fields, yielding extremely fruitful results.
Delivering brief remarks, Prime Minister Drew said the government of St. Kitts and Nevis is always ready to use its influence in international fora to advocate for values and principles which the country shares with Taiwan.
We therefore have no difficulty in promoting our shared values of democracy, good governance, human rights, and the rule of law. We believe firmly that the Republic of China Taiwan has a role to play in sustaining a vibrant global economy through manufacturing and export of quality goods and services. Taiwan can also contribute to the global effort to find solutions to pandemics, climate change adaptation and mitigation endeavors, disaster preparedness, food and livelihood security. And at the global level, Taiwan has assisted us in achieving sustainable development goals in all its dimensions.
He said the government remains committed to sustaining and strengthening the bonds of friendship between the two countries, and they're anxious to meet with stakeholders from government and civil society to explore possible areas of cooperation aimed at bringing the people of both countries together and promoting their advancement. Following the military parade, the Prime Minister and his delegation attended a state banquet. On Wednesday and Thursday, the delegation will meet with various Taiwan officials and students from the Federation who are studying in Taipei. Jason Davis for ZIZ News.
St. Kitts and Nevis's ambassador to the Republic of China Taiwan, Danya Francis, has presented his credentials to President Tsai Ing-wen. The presentation took place during a ceremony at the presidential office on Tuesday afternoon. Mr. Francis is part of a delegation led by Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew on an official visit to Taiwan. Danya Francis is a communications specialist and a trained English teacher. He holds a bachelor's degree from Mingchuan University International College in journalism and mass communication and a master's degree from Taipei Medical University in global health and development. Ambassador Francis spent a total of 6 years in Taiwan, where he took the opportunity to learn and immerse himself in the culture and language. Officials from the Ministry of Education engaged members of the Estridge and Tabernacle communities in formal discussions surrounding the decision to merge both the Estridge and Edgar T. Morris primary schools into one institution. The community sensitization endeavors were held on Tuesday, November 1st and Thursday, November 3rd at the Estridge and Edgar T. Morris primary schools, respectively. Addressing members of the Tabernacle community, Dr. Tricia S. Dale, Senior Assistant Secretary, informed the gathering of some of the factors which influenced the decision to merge the two educational institutions.
What's happening on the eastern zone, however, is that we have an increasingly aging population and a low birth rate for this area of the island. So we don't have a lot of babies. We just don't have a lot of kids coming in to our kindergarten classes and essentially keeping the enrollment of schools on the eastern zone at a fairly high level. Now, small schools are by no means new for St. Kitts and Nevis. We have small schools all over the island. But on the eastern side of the island, you are particularly small. And among small schools, Estridge Primary and also Edgar T. Morris Primary are both exceptionally small. I believe Estridge Primary has, for its population, 25 students enrolled. And at Edgar T. Morris Primary, they have 65 students enrolled. So what I want you to understand is both schools are small.
Class size in the area.
Within St. Kitts and Nevis, when we look at class sizes and we look at what we consider a large class or the ideal or maximum number of students we would want in a classroom, guess what our number is? It's 25. The entire population of the Estridge Primary School is equivalent to what we have determined is the ideal class size, or the maximum class size that we think is best for teaching and learning in the classroom, that would allow for really good student engagement.
Minister of Education, Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, reassured parents and guardians that the merger will pave the way forward for the students.
Change is always a problem. How you manage it is what makes the difference. And this should not be looked as a bad change, but rather an opportunity for something new that will happen. Education is forever changing. The merger of the Estridge and the Edgar T. Morris Primary School will be no difficult challenge. It will be an exciting time for the children.
The merger is expected to be completed in the early part of 2023. The Attorney General's office has given an update on an investigation into what has been described as a sham citizenship by marriage arrangement involving Ramon Hushpuppi Abbas. A statement was issued on Tuesday morning following the news that Abbas was sentenced on Monday to 135 months in prison for his role in an international fraud syndicate. In reference to local investigations, Attorney General Honorable Garth Wilkin quoted a press release from the U.S. Department of Justice which said Hushpuppi used $330,000 to fraudulently acquire a St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship and passport through a sham marriage to a St. Kitts citizen, end quote. The Attorney General noted that local law enforcement has been working with the U.S. authorities, and part of that collaboration included the preparation of a draft request for assistance to obtain formal evidence from the United States to assist the local investigation. According to the AG's statement, the request was forwarded to the then Attorney General's office on September 15, 2021, but remained unapproved for about a year. On October 21st, the current Attorney General was provided with a copy of the request and has been in communication with the police force to finalize it for forwarding to the United States. The police force confirmed that the investigation is ongoing, but the delayed MLAT request has slowed its progress. The Attorney General's office is taking steps to arrange for the swift transmission of the request to ensure that the local investigation can be concluded and, if necessary, in the views of the police force and the Director of Public Prosecutions, persons involved in this alleged sham citizenship by marriage scheme can be charged and brought to justice in St. Kitts and Nevis. The Attorney General also noted that on August 5th, 2021, in the National Assembly, the former Prime Minister stated that, quote, the matter of the revocation of Mr. Abbas's citizenship has been put before our Attorney General for advice and guidance, end quote. However, the Attorney General's office says it has been unable to locate any such file. After the break, fire victim shares story and lessons learned, and farmers training on sustainable agriculture practices launched. Stay with us.
Elevate your experience with Flow's fiber-fast internet and mobile combined. Enjoy double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines, plus up to 35 megabits per second home internet speed at the best rate, giving you the best value to stay connected. Hon, I think our Flow mobile is elevated.
You think?
An elevated experience starts with Flow at home, powering double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines at the best rate. Visit a Flow store to sign up today.
Fresh Look Paint and Tile Sale. Give your home a fresh look with a fresh coat of paint and a fresh set of tiles. From Holtzwood's Building and Nevis Center's 25% off Fresh Look Paint and Tile Sales event. Yes, come to Holtzwood's Building and Nevis Centers today and get fresh savings of 25% off all paints and tiles store-wide. Come and give your home a fresh new look with fresh savings and fresh new colors. Fresh new piles of tiles in all styles with a fresh 25% off store-wide on all paints and tiles at Holtzwood's Building and Nevis Center. Give your home a fresh start with a fresh new look with fresh new colors, fresh new piles of tiles in all styles, and fresh quality paint at Horswood's Building and Nevis Center. Fresh Look 25% off paints and tiles sales event. See store for details.
Green means go with one rate.
Green means go with one rate. From Republic Bank, go green with hybrid or electric vehicles, and it's one low rate. And we mean low. Go green with solar-powered air conditioners, grids, water heaters, and it's still the same low rate. Any green product, one low rate. Offer ends December 31st.
Green means go with one rate today.
Call or check your nearest branch for details.
Welcome back. Tuesday's episode of ZIZ Radio's Fire Talk program was a somber one, as the victim of a recent house fire at Ponds Extension shared her story and the lessons she learned from that incident. Diana Powell explained to the listening audience that the cause of the fire was due to her operating the stove when she was tired.
I did some work, but I was a bit tired, so I went to bed. But I have a grandbaby that really loves food, and he woke up minutes to 12 screaming down the house, and I decided to get up and run to the kitchen to just warm some water in the kettle, which in the kettle didn't really have much water, and that was satisfying for me because I needed water urgently. So with him continue screaming down the house, I ran back thinking I turned the stove off. Lo and behold, I went back in, I fed him, lie back down, and I fell asleep. And then when I checked the clock, when I got up, I just saw a bright orange flame through my mother's bedroom door. And I rushed, I remembered, I said, oh my God, the kettle. And I rushed to the kitchen. Well, I ran outside The fire was very small. It was just in the area where the stove was. The fire was very small, so I ran outside. I ran through the front door to grab my hose, but they turned the water off. There was no water running.
She said with no running water available, she had the presence of mind to ask the neighbor to call the fire and rescue services, who responded promptly. Due to the small size of the road and obstructions from other packed vehicles, the fire truck was unable to gain access to the house. She commended the fire officers for taking initiative to find another means to extinguish the fire.
The truck really responded when they should have, but the road is very small where we are. So the truck had trouble coming across. So as we were waiting for the truck to come, it was very traumatizing because you're standing outside and you're watching your home. You're watching everything that you have had all these years go up in flames. And I must commend them still. I mean, people were bashing, thinking they were so close. But at the end of the day, they still responded and saved part of my house, which I am now living. And I must commend them for that, because they responded still and was able to save that. They worked from the back street. They wasn't able to get on the street still, but they, in their quick thinking, they responded from the back street, threw the hoses over the properties that was in the back of me, and was able to deal with the fire. So as a result, I still have part of my home, which is an upstairs section in the back, and that is where me and my family is living today.
Ms. Powell shared the lessons she learned from the experience and offered words of advice.
If you're tired, put off whatever you have to do with the stove for the next day. It won't matter, in the sense that to try and light a stove, because you're already tired, you will just stand the risk of falling asleep. So it's better for you to just rest. It's better to go to bed early, and if anything, you can awake before the late hours in the morning, so you can continue whatever it is you wanted to do. That is very dangerous. From my experience, I would advise, once you're tired, just go to bed.
Radio personality St. Clair GQ Liebert also offered words of advice to persons who cook for a living.
If you're one of those individuals who cook for a living, please go and get a fire extinguisher. Make the investment. That's your livelihood. Don't wait until everything go up in flames. Just start and think to yourself, hey, I should have invested. Take my foolish advice and do it now. You're already making an investment. You should be making some extra cash more than the average person. Not saying that you are rich. However, though, you should be able to make a quicker turnaround to say, well, all right, I spend $100 to buy this extinguisher. I could sell extra so-and-so to make back that money to help put back wherever you need to put back. I'm not going to get into your business. I'm not your accountant. However, though, the point still stands. Do what you have to do to protect your family, protect your life, protect your home, and protect your business.
Fire Talk airs every Tuesday on ZIZ Radio at 9:30 a.m. on the morning show with GQ. 35 farmers will benefit from a series of trainings on sustainable agriculture practices, including the use of renewable energy technology in agricultural production and the improved management of water resources, held by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, the Government of Mexico, and the Government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Launched in St. Kitts on the 25th of October and in Nevis on the 26th of October, the training series is part of the Addressing the Water Energy Nexus in Agriculture sub-project of the Mexico-Caribbean FAO Initiative Cooperation for Climate Change Adaptation and Resilience in the Caribbean, or Resilient Caribbean Initiative in short. The project will provide farmers with solar-powered drip irrigation and water harvesting and storage systems to increase both crop and water productivity. Training on sustainable agriculture practices is being conducted over a 5-week period, concluding at the end of November and consisting of 4 modules: water resource management, efficient irrigation, protected agriculture and climate change, and conservation agriculture. The final session will take the form of a field tour to highlight and demonstrate practical aspects of information shared in the modules. The Resilient Caribbean Initiative, funded by the Mexican Agency for International Development Cooperation and Mexico's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is being implemented by FAO in 14 CARICOM countries. Its main goal is to support countries in the region to address global shocks such as the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change. This series of trainings forms part of the project's capacity building activities aimed at equipping farmers with the tools needed to ensure food systems in these 4 countries are climate resilient. The Department of Youth Empowerment held its annual Fun Day with the children of the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School on November 4th at the Newtown Playing Field. Each year, the department engages children from the school who are living with disabilities as part of their Youth Month celebrations. The Fun Day is also made possible through a partnership with the Department of Community and Social Services, which has supported the event by providing meals since the inception of the program 7 years ago. A hydration station was also provided by Tapwater Caribbean. In a post to its Facebook page, the department thanked Minister of Youth Empowerment, Honorable Iselene Phillip, who engaged the children in a beanbag toss competition. The activities for the day also featured bubble smash, Jenga, the beanbag toss, face painting and airbush by Lucid SKN, as well as bouncing castles, football and cricket. This year's Youth Month celebrations are being held under the theme Taking Charge of Our Future, Creative, Focused, Energized. Coming up in regional news, Antigua and Barbuda welcomes home Miss Oasia's pageant queen. The details when we come back.